guys, welcome to Back in Motion Bayswater's office stretch set. So this is a really good one to do if you're doing lots of sitting at home, if you're doing lots of studying, driving, pretty much everybody at the moment. So what we're going to go through is some exercises, first sitting in your chair and how to sort of set yourself up nice in that chair at home. Dan's going to be doing some demonstrating of those, and then we're going to do some stretches for the whole body. And if you have a foam roller at home, you can bring it along for this one. If you don't worry about it. So Dan, what we're going to start off with are some little tips of what to do at home when we're sitting in our chair. So what we want to make sure we're going to work from the head down is that everything's in a good comfortable posture and we're not overloading our joints or our muscles by sitting funny or in an uncomfortable position. So what I'm going to get you to do first is make sure that you're keeping that chin gently tucked in. And what we want to avoid is having our chin poking out or leaning forwards. That really loads up through the neck and puts a lot of strain onto your muscles and can be the reason for lots of neck related headaches or upper back pain. So this is one that you can do straight away if you're watching this video now. Tuck that chin in and you can use that posture for pretty much any exercise that you're doing to keep those neck muscles switched on. We also want to make sure that our shoulders are rolled back, so we don't want to be in a curved upper body position. So you can use things like shrugs, rolling your shoulders back in your chair, firstly to set yourself up, but also as an exercise every hour. So Dan, I'm going to get you to do a couple of those shrugs, rolling the shoulders back, getting those shoulders back so that you're out of that forwards lean position. Perfect. And at home, I'd get you to do 10 of these, and every hour that you're working is not a bad idea. You can also think about squeezing between the shoulder blades to activate those upper back muscles. And an exercise that you can do straight away in your chair without any equipment, Dan, is if you bend your elbows like you're a robot and then squeezing those elbows back in the chair, you should feel that squeeze in between the shoulder blades. Yeah, perfect. And straight away, if you're doing this one at home, what you'll notice is you get a little bit of stretch through the front of the chest and a little bit of activation in those muscles in the back of the chest. So Dan, I'm going to get you to do 5 of those, nice and slow, squeezing back. Again, don't need any equipment, it's a really easy one to do and it does correct that posture quite quickly. Perfect. How's that feeling? Yeah, good. So when you've done those little bit of activation and postural setting exercises, we can do a few quick seated stretches for the neck as well. So Dan, you can relax your arms now and we can do our gentle ear to shoulder stretch. So I want you to bring one ear to shoulder and I'll do the same to the camera so that you can see that movement. Great. When you're doing that ear to shoulder, you can use your right arm to pull over the top of your head, Dan, if you want to add in a little bit more of a stretch. And if you're finding that the problem is at the side of your neck or up through your shoulders and your upper traps is the issue, Dan, you can also stretch your left hand down as you pull across with your right arm. Good. How does that feel? Getting that stretch to the left side? Yeah, great. So we can repeat that one on the other side. So bring your head back to the middle, left ear to shoulder now. If you want to add in your left arm over the top as a little bit more force through that stretch. And when I say force, this is quite gentle at home. You should just feel a bit of a stretch, no pain. Good. And then as you can see, Dan's put his right hand down if you want to make it a little bit more of a stretch through that upper trap. Great. We can also do a little bit of neck flexion extension. So if you've been sitting with forwards posture for a long time, the upper part of your neck can be a little bit sore. So Dan, what I'm going to get you to do is tuck your chin to chest, looking all the way down towards the ground. And keep rolling, bringing that chin all the way down towards the chest. And then coming up into extension. So now you're going to be looking up towards the roof, stretching up with that neck. Good. And then repeat that one, chin to chest, looking down towards the ground. Really good. And then looking up towards the roof. Good. What we're going to do now, and again this is one you can do in your chair, is crossing your arms across your chest, and we're going to do a little bit of upper back rotation. If you have a high backed chair, just shuffle forward a little bit so you get a bit more space to rotate your shoulders around. Dan, what I'm going to get you to do is keep those arms crossed across the chest and rotate around towards your right side. Perfect. And you should feel that sort of isolated to the upper back and maybe a little bit of lower back, but because you're sitting, it really isolates that upper back rotation. If you have someone that can help you at home, someone can come and put a little bit more pressure and rotation into your upper back. So luckily you're all working from home and there's probably people floating around who can be helpful there. We're going to do the same thing towards the left side, rotate, and again if you want to get someone to put a little bit of pressure into that rotation, help get a little bit more of a stretch. Good. Perfect. Come back to the middle. And then at home you can repeat that one a couple of times, maybe 3 or 4 on each side. Good. How's the upper back feeling?
Yeah, quite limited out.
Good. Dan, what I'm going to get you to do to finish off that upper back stretch is I'm going to get you to loop your fingers together and you're going to reach forwards so you stretch out in between the shoulder blades. You want to keep your lower back pressed up against your chair, but you're going to be really stretching and reaching forward with those hands. You should feel that stretch in between the shoulder blades there and maybe a little bit around the back of your shoulders if they're quite tight. How does that feel? You're going to keep your hands together, but now you're going to turn your palms to face the other way and you're going to reach up overhead and you can arch back a little bit into this stretch as well. Some people will be able to reach a little bit further and extend a little bit further than others. If you've had tight or stiff shoulder joints before, don't be stressed if you can't do this exercise, but just give it a go gently. How does that feel? Good. And then if you're doing it at home, you bring those arms back down, bring the palms back towards to face you and repeat. So arching through the back, stretching out with the arms, good. And then turning the palms to face the other way, reaching up over the head, arching back, good. So everyone should save that set and do it every hour that you're sitting at your desk. Good. Perfect. Feeling all right? Great. The other thing that you might notice sitting a lot is that your lower body will get a little bit tight. So we can do some seated exercises if you can't get up from your chair, if you're stuck in a conference call or something. What you're going to do, Dan, is you're going to bring your left foot out in front. You're going to keep your legs straight and you're going to lean down towards your foot to stretch out your hamstring. Now you might need to shuffle towards the edge of your chair for this one. You want to try and keep your back nice and straight so you're flexing from the hips to reach down. So reaching down with that palm of the hand as far down the foot as you can go. You should feel that gentle stretch in the back of the hamstring. Good. And then coming back up again, we're going to repeat the same on the other side. So right foot's going to go out in front. Nice and upright with the torso, reaching down towards your hand, towards your ankle. Perfect, getting that stretch through the hamstring. And what you might find is one side is tighter than the other. So for these stretches, I'll get you to hold them for 20 to 30 seconds at home. And then you can repeat them a couple of times. And as you do repeat them, you might find you get a little bit further each time. How's that feeling, Dan?
Yeah, good stretch.
Good. And then hands on the outside. And then while we're there, we're going to finish off with a seated glute stretch. So Dan, what you're going to do is you're going to stay sitting in your chair. You're going to bring your right foot up and bring it up onto your left knee. Good. And then trying to gently drop that right knee out towards the ground. Great. If you want to make it more of a stretch, as you can see, Dan's put his hands on top of his knees and you can push your knee down to get a little bit more of a stretch through that right glute. It also might open up a little bit through the right side of your hip and your groin as well, which can become a bit of a problem. Good. And then repeat the same on the other side. Fantastic. How's that feeling as a stretch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So when you're done with those lower body stretches, we're going to go into some stretches on the ground, and this is where if you have a foam roller, you can bring that one in. So I'm going to bring that roller over for you, Dan. And I'm going to get you to move that chair. We're going to come onto our mat now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lie on the roller. So we're going to line it up with your spine. You want to make sure that your head is also on the roller and not hanging off the edge. If you don't have a roller at home, you can do this one lying flat, or you can roll up a couple of towels so that they just bring you off the ground a little bit. Dan, we're going to do a stretch now called open book. So you're going to bring your elbows up in line with your shoulder. Keep your hands over the front of your face. And then you're going to gently drop those elbows back down towards the ground. Stretch through the front of the chest. How does that feel? Yeah, good. So if you have any shoulder problems at home, when you open up the arms towards the ground, sort of keep those elbows a little bit lower. Don't let them come all the way up above the head. Good. Bring the arms back above the chest. And we're going to repeat that one a couple of times, just as much as is comfortable. But gravity in this position will really help you to stretch out through the front of the chest and get the arms back down towards the ground. How's that feeling? Good. We're we're going to do 2 more of these, and then we've got another upper back stretch that we can use the roller for. Perfect. So I'm going to get you to come into 4-point kneeling, Dan, and we're going to do an exercise called thread the needle, and we can use our roller here. So you're going to keep your roller to the right side of your body. Yep, perfect. Put your hand onto the ground. Your left hand is going to reach underneath, and the back of your palm is going to go onto the roller. So reach underneath the right arm, back of the palm on the roller. Now roll that roller away with the palm and get that stretch through the upper back. Good. How does that feel? Perfect. So if you're doing this one with the roller at home, I want you to repeat 5 times onto that side, trying to go a little bit further each time. If you don't have a roller, you can just glide your palm along the back of the ground. When you've done 5 of those, Dan, what I'll get you to do is pop the roller onto the other side and repeat the same. So right arm will reach underneath for the next set. Good. So you should feel that one in between the shoulder blades, but also maybe a little bit behind the shoulder joint, and maybe even into the lower back if you get that full body rotation as you roll through. So while you're there, Dan, I'm going to get you to stay in that 4-point kneeling position, but you're going to bring that roller so it's in front of the body now. So it's going to, yeah, perfect. What you're going to do now is we're going to do a bit of an assisted child's pose exercise. So with our child's pose, we're starting off in this 4-point kneeling, then you're going to sit your your bum back on your heels. But what you're going to do is have the roller in front of the hands. So when you're sitting back onto the heels, now you can roll forwards a little bit more, really stretch out. And now you might get a little bit more of a stretch through the arms as you reach forwards onto the roller. You can also use it to stretch out through the fingers. If you bring your palms flat onto the roller, yeah, good, and stretch out through the fingers there and through the wrists as well. If you've been sitting a lot at your desk, you might find that through the front of your palms and through your wrists and forearms is something that will tighten up really quickly. Good. How's that feeling, Dan? Good stretch. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave that roller there, and again, if you're doing this one at home, repeat that a couple of times, and you can come in and out of that that position as well if you're feeling a bit sore through the hips, and just do it as is comfortable. Good, so walking it away, and then stretching out through the fingers and through the palms of the hands. Yeah, good. Perfect. So Dan, what I'm going to get you to do, you can leave the roller there. Now you're going to turn to face the camera. You can stay in that high kneeling position. We're going to come into an exercise now called bow and arrow. So we're going to bring both of our arms in front of our body. We're going to have our palms facing each other. Perfect. Now what I'm going to get you to do, Dan, with your left arm is you're going to bend that arm like you're drawing a bow. I want you to rotate the upper body in line with that elbow and really stretch back. Perfect. Good. And then bring that left hand back to meet the right, and we're going to repeat with the right arm. So bending that right elbow, rotating the body to follow the elbow, stretching through the upper back and through the chest. Perfect. Good. We're going to repeat that on the left side. Now this is a really great one to do because you should get that really good upper back, chest stretch, but it also gets the arms moving. Perfect. If you want to make it a little bit harder at home, if you have a TheraBand, you can tie it to something that's not going to move, and then do that bow and arrow with that little bit of a resistance of the TheraBand in your hands as well. How's that feeling, Dan? Yeah. Perfect. One more on each side. And then we're going to come back into our 4-point kneeling for a lower back stretch. So I'm going to move the roller for you and back into our 4-point kneeling. We've got a stretch here called cat-cow, or cat-camel, or happy cat, angry cat. There's probably 1,000 names for them. But Dan, what you're going to do is you're going to be doing some movement through your lower and middle and upper back. So what you're going to do first is imagine that you're trying to dip your lower back and your body down towards the ground. And good, so once we've done with those cat-cow stretches, what we're going to go into is a little bit of wrist stretching here. So if you're comfortable to leave your palms flat onto the ground, you can do a little bit of stretching through your arms by just gently leaning forwards in that position. So you should feel a little bit of a stretch through this part of your arm. Perfect. And some people will be able to go further than others leaning all the way forward, and others might not be able to go that far because of your wrist and muscular restriction in there. And then you can come out of that position and take the load off the wrist. Perfect. Forwards into that position, shoulders coming forwards over the hands if you can, and you should feel that stretch into the back of the arm there, through all those muscles that you would be using normally at a desk to type, which you move the mouse around. How's that feeling? Good. If you're finding that your wrists are feeling a little bit sore either in this position or at the desk as well, if you come back into that high kneeling stand, you can just do some wrist rotations. So rotating the wrists around with your hands in a bit of a fist. Perfect. How's that feeling?
Yeah, good.
Good. So doing it both ways. It's common that from sitting or typing for a long time, they might just start to get a little bit stiff. If you found that first exercise on your hands stretching out through the wrist too much, the alternative is if you bring your hands forward of your body, Dan, one arm is going to be straight and you're going to hold over the top with the other hand to stretch out through the fingers and through the forearm muscles. That's less loaded than being in that 4-point kneeling position, but you should still get the same sort of stretch. How does that feel?
Yeah, stretch.
Good. You can do the same thing on the other side. Perfect. And again, getting that stretch down under the forearm there. And the advantage of adding this one in is if you need to do a little bit of rotation with the wrist as well, so side to side, if you find the inside or the outside of the arm is a little bit tight, you can do that in this position. And then we can do that stretch the other way if you're finding that the muscles over the top of the arm are really sore. So now what you're going to do is bring the arm out in front and pull down over that hand. Perfect. Feeling that stretch through the arm, maybe all the way up into the elbow as well. Good. And then the same on the other side. Perfect. Feeling that stretch then. Great. So while you're in this 4-point kneeling position, the other one that we're going to do for the upper body is we're going to do a stretch where you're going to bring one hand behind the head, reach it down in between the shoulder blades if you can, and if you want to add in a little bit more of a stretch, put your hand over the top and push that one down. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's a good stretch.
Yeah, great. So you should feel that one into the triceps and into the back of the arm. Really stretching through there. Good. And then repeat on the other side. So bring that hand down behind the body, push down over the top of the elbow. Perfect. Great. How's that feeling?
Yeah, it's a good stretch. The tricep.
Yeah. Good. Perfect. So we're going to now come on to our stomach, and we're going to do a little bit of lower back stretching in our cobra or extension in lying position. So another really good one that reverses that forwards posture of sitting all day. We're going to either have our elbows on the ground and our forearms on the ground, or the palms of our hands onto the ground for this stretch. So Dan, I want you to show everyone the first version with elbows and forearms on the ground, pushing yourself up into a little bit of gentle extension. So as you can see, a little bit of a curve has happened in Dan's lower back now, which is good, getting that stretch and reversing that forwards posture of sitting. So you want to do this one in a bit of a repetitive fashion. So Dan, I'm going to get you to do 5 of those nice and slow up and down. If that doesn't feel like enough of a stretch for you, instead of pushing through your elbows and your forearms, you can push through the palms of your hands to extend yourself all the way up. Again, you can try that one now. Good. So getting a little bit more of a stretch through the lower back and a bit more extension. Fantastic. How's that one feeling? Good. And then when you've done that final one down, I'm going to get you to push up into 4-point kneeling again to finish off. And then just sit back gently into that child's pose. So sitting with your bum back on your heels, stretching out through the back. Perfect. So we've been able to move the back through its full range of motion with that little set there. So that's an easy one for you guys to do at home. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know how you went.